and welcome back to Real Time. I'm Rima Sterrett, and I'll be sharing some tips on how to identify fraudulent tenant documents. In your capacity as a realtor serving the landlord, you may be asked to provide additional services such as pre-screening applicants and property management services. You need to decide if that's a service you're willing to provide. The services you offer should be clearly defined in the Landlord Representation Agreement, or REA Form 210. Be sure to review your E&O insurance coverage, as it does not provide you insurance protection for property management services. Also keep in mind that if you are providing property management services, you may be named in a landlord and tenant board application if the tenant files a complaint against the landlord. So today I'll be walking you through 6 documents that a tenant may provide the landlord during the rental process. These documents include credit reports, bank statements, pay stubs, employment letters, government-issued IDs, for example, driver's license, and the landlord reference letters. Let's start with the credit report. The credit report is one of the most important documents that landlords examine closely. It determines an applicant's credit history with managing debt and bill payments. This document can be altered to show a higher score by copying an image, which can be easily found online, and pasting the image onto their report, putting the tenant in a more favorable position. When reviewing a credit report, keep an eye out for the following indicators. Applicant's name and address are different from other documents. Inconsistent font formatting, spelling errors in the applicant's name, and the pasted image, the score, either has a faint border or is misaligned. Even after examining the credit report, it's always recommended that you obtain the consent of the applicant to pull the credit report from a reputable third-party source. Consent is provided when the applicant signs REA Form 410 rental application. This is known as a soft check, which should not affect the applicant's credit score. Now let's talk about the bank statement. Here are some indicators to look out for. Again, inconsistent font type and size, the bank logo, the size of the logo, and other trademark symbols that don't match what's on the bank's website. Inconsistent payment amounts and pay periods. Most people who work a standard job have consistent earnings paid out bi-weekly or monthly. And look out for suspicious large deposits made into the account when the opening balance is low. It's best to ask for 3 months of bank statements to ascertain their income, spending, and payment patterns. The next document to verify is the applicant's pay stub. It's important to request a copy of the tenant's recent pay stub to verify their annual salary and payment history. Flags to look out for in a pay stub include the net pay is a whole number, for example, $2,000. It's unlikely to be accurate after payroll deductions. Details commonly found on pay stubs are missing, such as employer's address, year-to-date wages, EI, CPP, federal and provincial tax. Applicant's name and address and other details are inconsistent with other tenant documents. And blurred or faded characters. Look out for signs of low ink quality and request to see the original pay stub, as some may have a microprint background as an added safety feature. Also take a closer look at the number 0 in the pay amount or bank account and transit numbers if the letter O was used rather than the number 0. It's always best to contact the employer listed on the pay stub to confirm the applicant is a current employee. The 4th document to confirm is the employment letter. Now, the best way to approach the employment reference check is to start with a Google search to verify the existence of the company. Verify if the address is in fact a place of business and not an apartment or a P.O. box number. By doing a Google Maps search, then finally contact the employer to confirm the applicant's employment history and the name of the person who prepared the letter of employment. Now, some employers may not be forthcoming with confidential information on their employees for fear of reprisals from the prospective tenant. One more reason why landlords should request various pieces of tenant information. Now let's talk about the driver's license. A driver's license is one of the most common pieces of government-issued ID that tenants provide the landlord to verify their identification. First and foremost, make sure the ID is valid, current, and authentic. The photo on the ID should match the person in front of you, and their birth date should appear under the photo. Fake driver's licenses are getting very sophisticated and are available for purchase online. They use the same material as an authentic ID, contain the same hologram with detailed coloring, and often have a scannable barcode on the back. So be sure, examine the ID in your hands and look for the following indicators. The thickness of the photo. If it's thicker than the immediate surrounding area, then someone may have placed a second photo on top of the original. The microprint in the background is missing, and the hologram on the bottom right contains the incorrect driver's number or missing the photo. And finally, if you run your finger across the driver's license number and you're unable to feel the embossing, then the ID is fake. Last but certainly not least, let's talk about the landlord's reference letter. I highly recommend that you ask for reference letters, not from the applicant's current landlord, but from their previous landlords. The reason we recommend this is to get a fair tenant-landlord history, since the current landlord may not provide an accurate reference so as to facilitate the eviction of a problematic tenant. If you suspect the tenant's identification is fraudulent, contact one of the numbers on the screen. I hope you found this information to be helpful. Thank you for stopping by. As always, if you have questions, don't hesitate to contact a Right Home branch manager. See you next time on Real Time.